Good evening, Camby. Welcome to the Canby Urban Renewal Agency special meeting for January 20th. We apologize for the delay. Some technical difficulties getting everybody in, but we are here and we'll get going. Some major things to take care of this evening on an urban renewal front. The first piece of business this evening is selection of the Urban Renewal Agency Chair and Vice Chair. In years past, that has been, the chair spot has been filled by Commissioner Dale, but he has since retired, so that has now opened up that position. And so I have been the Vice Chair for the last 8 years and wouldn't be opposed to carry that up into being the chair, but that's not my call. That's the rest of the commissioners' call. For the two new members, a little different role that we play here in the agency. We are commissioners, not counselors. We all 7 of us get to have a vote in this particular body. And so that'll come up as we move through this evening's agenda. So with that being said, I'll move into opening up for the selection of the URA chair. Mr. Tibbles?
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Sean Varwig for URA chair.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Tibbles and seconded by Commissioner Hensley to nominate Commissioner Varwig to be chair of the Urban Renewal Agency. All those in favor of that piece, signal by raising your hand with an aye. Those opposed? Looks like Commissioner Varwig is the chair of the Urban Renewal Agency 4-3. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner, I guess now Chair Varwig, to take us through the vice chair piece and the rest of the agenda.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the honor of serving in this role, so thank you very much. I will open it up to motions for vice chair. Commissioner Hensley.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I nominate current vice chair to remain vice chair Hodson.
Very good. And do we have a second? Perfect. So it has been moved and seconded for Brian Hodson to remain as vice chair. All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? And any abstentions? Councilor Bangs, or Commissioner Bangs, I didn't see your vote. Were you a yay or a nay?
I have a question regarding point of order, and perhaps because this is an urban renewal district and not the city council, I'm not clear on why there was no discussion on either vote taken. It strikes me that parliamentary procedure requires a discussion after nomination and second.
Great point. Great point. Joe at City Hall, can you help us backtrack this maybe a little bit? Do we need to go back to discussion on chair, or should we continue to move forward and open up discussion on vice chair since we have voted?
Why don't you start with discussion on vice chair since you're at that moment right now, and then we can discuss if you guys want to reconsider your vote for chair.
Perfect. So that would be being if any of the yays wanted to reconsider, correct, for discussion?
I don't believe so.
It's technically if any of the nays wanted to reconsider.
Gotcha.
For a different vote.
Okay. So I will open up discussion then at this point to for vice chair. Commissioner Bangs.
Okay, thank you. I don't stand in opposition to your own nomination as an election as president, and congratulations, nor to the mayor as vice chair. But I am unclear what the chair and vice chair of the Urban Renewal District even do. And I was wondering if we could have a brief discussion on the role that the chair and vice chair have. Frankly, I'm not sure what I'm voting on.
Sure. City Hall, can you give us an explanation of that?
Is it on? Okay. This is Joe Lindsay. Basically, the chair runs the meeting, and then the vice chair runs the meeting in the event that the chair is not present.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Commissioner Banks, go ahead.
Sorry, thank you. So then I just have a question. I understand the Urban Renewal District faces some opposition, and I'm just curious to know if Commissioner Varwig and Hodson are in favor of continuing the Urban Renewal District for the time being, or do you foresee a time of shutting down the Urban Renewal District?
I will let Commissioner Hodson answer his question first, being that we are on his selection right now, and then I will answer just once we're all done, just to answer your question, if that works for you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yes, to answer your question, Commissioner Bangs, regarding the Urban Renewal Agency, as we all know, it is set to sunset here in the next couple of years if we continue our movement towards paying off the debt piece that we've accumulated with the Urban Renewal District. I think the city has used the Urban Renewal District well. I know that there's some question and hesitation on urban renewal as it is as a tool for economic development. I'm not opposed to having conversation about what next steps the Urban Renewal District should look like and what next steps should take it should take. So no, I'm not totally opposed to having more dialogue on what that next step would look like in terms of does paying it off and shutting it provide the economic benefit that we want, or is it a bigger conversation about having it morph into something different to maintain this as a tool for economic development?
And Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I could also add that in the time that this chairship exists for the next 2 years, the Urban Renewal District is not set to be paid off and therefore not set to expire. So it's actually more years than just the 2 years. So that point, even though it is probably a good discussion, it might be somewhat premature.
Thank you very much, Joe. I appreciate that. So we'll continue with the vote, and then after the vote is over, Commissioner Banks, I would love to answer your question. So we have 3 yeas, 2 nays, and 1 we're not sure yet. Commissioner Banks, what would your vote be?
I'll vote yay as well.
Perfect. So congratulations, Commissioner Hodson. You remain in vice chair.
Thank you all. I appreciate that.
And Commissioner Banks, just to answer your question, I'm not a fan of debt in perpetuity. I think that whenever there's an opportunity to pay off debt and get out of from underneath debt, I think that's a great idea. But similar to Commissioner Hodson, I do see the value in the Urban Renewal Agency for future economic things. So I'm neither a let's get rid of it or let's extend it person right now.
Sure. Thank you.
Yes, you bet. All right, we will move on to citizen input and community announcements. Melissa, do we have, Vice Chair Hodson.
I just, again, going back to Commissioner Banks' comments about just in terms of order of things, in fact, if there was a no vote that wanted to go back and discuss, if I understood that correctly, of going back and discussing the urban renewal chair vote, is that correct, Joe? In terms of that piece,
You guys could revisit that if you wanted in a motion to reconsider.
So if anybody wants to make a motion to reconsider.
I move that we reconsider for the sake of having some discussion.
Perfect. Is there a second? Perfect. There's a second. So there's a motion and a second to reconsider. All in favor of reconsidering?
No, discussion.
The motion is to reconsider the chair in order for discussion. Is that correct? That was how the motion was stated?
The parliamentary procedure, every time there is a motion, there is a moment for discussion before a vote. And so Councillor Bangs is right in that for every new motion, you could have a discussion before you vote. So you could always just ask, is there any discussion on this or can we vote on it? But it would be limited to the actual motion to reconsider. And then it will, of course, open up a discussion about the vote for the chair.
And then we'll need to take a revote for the chair position.
Correct.
Okay. So again, the motion's been made to reconsider the chair position in order to have dialogue, and it's been seconded. All in favor of reconsidering? And those opposed? All right, it is denied 5-2. All right, we will move on then to item number 2, citizen input and community announcements. Do we
Can I
have?
ask- Point of order, why didn't we have discussion on that motion?
I'm learning here, so we can go. We can have
Yeah.
discussion on that motion.
He asked for discussion and there was none offered.
I don't recall him asking for discussion, but okay.
All right.
We can fix it now because we haven't moved on. So, right? Or no? Is it two or is it?
But the vote has been taken. So it would need to be another motion, I believe. Then, Joe, if we want to have the discussion again. Joe, is that right? If we want to have continued discussion, we would need another motion to reconsider once again, correct?
You're at a moment where you just had a vote. So there's a finality to that. So yes, in order to reconsider, you're going to have to find somebody who's in the plurality to reconsider that vote.
So someone who voted against reconsidering would have to then make a motion to reconsider because we've already done this, correct?
Well, the vote went for no reconsideration, correct? So
Correct.
it would have to be somebody who now actually didn't want reconsideration before and now wants reconsideration.
All right. Well, seeing none, I will move on. Do we have any citizens for input or community announcements?
We do not.
Perfect. And I will take a motion for the consent agenda, which includes the minutes from the September 16, 2020 URA special meeting.
Mr. Chair, I move to accept the consent agenda, which include the minutes from the September 16th, 2020 URA special meeting.
Second.
Perfect. So it has been moved by Commissioner Vice Chair Hodson and seconded by Commissioner Hensley to accept the consent agenda, which includes a minute from the September 16th, 2020 URA special meeting. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? And all opposed? Any abstentions? All right, so that passes 5-0-2. All right, and now on to new business. We have URR 21-001, a resolution of the Canby Urban Renewal Agency appointing the director of the Canby Urban Renewal Agency. And Joe, are you taking this one? Or Mr. Archer?
Yep. Can you turn the camera on too?
Stand by. Is the mute on?
We're working on trying to turn the camera on as we give you staff reports, maybe as a kind of a standing practice. So we're trying to do that. We're having some issues here, but at least you can hear me. This is Scott Archer. There we
There
go.
we go.
And we're sitting in a room with a few other staff members. So when we do turn the camera on, you'll see us with our masks on. Yes, Chair Varwig and Urban Renewal Agency commissioners, I believe the past practice here has just been simply to appoint the city administrator, which is what your resolution is offering for you to do. So unless you had any other considerations there, that would be the standard practice. And of course, I would be happy to accept that appointment.
Very good. Commissioner Banks.
I move to appoint Scott Archer as Director of the Urban Renewal Agency.
Very good. And do we have a second?
I will second.
So it has been moved by Commissioner Bangs, and I saw Commissioner Tibble's hand first, so seconded by Commissioner Tibbles, to appoint or to approve URR 21-001, resolution of the Canby Urban Renewal Agency appointing the Director of the Canby Urban Renewal Agency as our City Administrator, Scott Archer. Is there any discussion?
No, sir.
Seeing none, I will take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
I see 7-0. Congratulations, Mr. Archer. You are our Director of the Urban Renewal Agency.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to item letter B, Godfrey Properties, LLC facade improvement application. And I imagine we are going to hear from Mr. LeSueur.
That is correct. Calvin LeSueur is, as I guess for our new members, Calvin is Economic Development and Tourism Coordinator with the city and coordinates our facade improvement grant program. So Calvin will actually be giving you the next couple of staff reports.
Very good.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here as always. And for your consideration today are actually two facade improvement projects, and we're starting off with Godfrey Properties LLC. The property in question is located at 294 Northwest 2nd Avenue. Everyone's going to know this as the former Parsons building. The applicant has already made significant improvements and found several new tenants for the building. It's looking great. However, this specific round of improvements would be for the benefit of the Book Nook, which would be a new active use tenant in that space, in that building. The applicant, Daniel Godfrey, has been wonderful to work with. He would like to do some masonry cleaning and painting, new double doors on Grant Avenue, so facing the backstop, and replacing the windows on that side of the building as well. We send these applications out to our Main Street Design Committee, just an interested group of people who are passionate about design and downtown, well, the entire urban renewal district, in fact. I did include some background here. This has changed from previous staff reports, sort of for the benefit of new counselors to give, or new commissioners in this case, to give a little bit more history about the program. It was a point that could have used a refresh anyways. So for reference, we are able to fund about 3 of these projects per year at a maximum, depending on the dollar amount. We do outreach to try to get certain properties to make improvements, or simply to be aware of the program if it's a prospective business that might be able to benefit from it. So it does play a role in our economic development here in Canby, especially downtown and along the 99E corridor. It also extends into the industrial park. This property in particular, as I said, windows, doors, and paint. It's pretty straightforward. However, if any commissioners have any questions, we do have the applicant here, and I would also be happy to field any questions you may have.
Very good. Thank you, Calvin. I appreciate that. Commissioners, do we have any questions for Calvin or for the applicant? Vice Chair Hodson.
Calvin, I want to thank you for putting in the older pictures of Parsons in the packet. It was pretty cool to see Parsons back in the day. I thought that was a great touch. I'm very excited about this project. I think it's going to be great for the Book Nook and being able to open up that side of the building. I think it'll be huge for again, just more activity downtown. So I'm looking forward to approving this and getting it going.
Very good. Any additional comments or questions? All right, seeing none, I will take a motion to approve the facade improvement application for Godfrey Properties. Commissioner Bangs? You are muted, Commissioner Bangs.
Sorry, I moved to approve that.
Perfect. And a second?
I'll second
All right,
that.
Vice Chair Hodson. So it's been moved by Commissioner Bangs, seconded by Vice Chair Hodson to approve the facade improvement application for Godfrey Properties. Any discussion? Commissioner Bangs. On mute once again, sir.
Really just a question, once again, expressing my naivety here. Does the Urban Renewal Agency or like this Board of Commissioners have to approve every one of these?
No, we don't have to approve any of them if we choose not to.
No, I guess my question is really, is this a function of our board, or would this be something that would be done administratively normally?
I believe it's a function of our board because it is a URA dollars. Vice Chair Hodson, can you chime in on that? Is that correct?
Yes, this has been because the Urban Renewal Agency budgets funds for this, and so because those are dollars from the agency, we act as that body of where those dollars and funds get approved for. So that's why it falls under our purview versus a staff decision.
I could also add, Mr. Chair, that the question is well suited because you could defer the power or confer the power over to your director if you wanted up to a certain amount. It really is in the power of the body to hand over administrative functions if you want. So it's not completely out of left field to ask the question because the amount of money that you could say you don't have to hear about could be $10,000 or $15,000 or $25,000. So it's up to you if you want to trust your administration with that or not. So thought I would just share.
Very good. And that's a great question that you brought up, Commissioner Bangs. And Joe, just before you walk away, Joe, just if we chose to do that, we would need to do that through a resolution, correct?
Yeah.
I think it would be best if it were a publicized action on your guys' part. So you would take an actual action, and that would mean a resolution, and then that should be publicized. So if you wanted to see something like that on the next urban renewal meeting, we could bring that to you.
Very good. So if there's some interest in that, you guys just let me know, and we'll entertain it. So let's go back to the vote, unless there's any further dialogue. So all those in favor, and that's 7-0 as well. Calvin, did you have any further comments regarding the next application?
Sure, yeah. And one thing, just while kind of discussing the program overall. These are all matching grants, so the applicant is putting in the same amount of money as the Urban Renewal District in almost every case. So that's just a piece of background on these that I didn't mention. It's a one-to-one match. So this program is a way of spurring private investment. But moving on to the next application, this is the applicant is Columbia Brickworks, who owns the property. And this is what you'll all know as the Holly Mall downtown. You may have noticed a few small improvements. For example, the signs have been updated and are looking great. And this application is essentially to keep that ball rolling and repaint the building and also update the light fixtures. So once again, it's a large property downtown, basic updates, but very much what this program, I believe, is designed to do.
All right, very good. Any discussion or questions? All right, seeing none, I will take a motion to approve the facade improvement application for Columbia Brickworks.
So moved.
So it is moved by Vice Chair Hodson and seconded by Commissioner Hensley to to approve the facade improvement application for Columbia Brickworks. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I will entertain a vote. All in favor? 7-0. I will just say to the Jarretts and the Godfreys that are watching, thank you so much for your investment in Canby. We appreciate it very much. That brings us to item number 5, which is an adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? A motion has been made. Do I have a second? Seconded by Commissioner Hensley. Motion made by Commissioner Bangs. All in favor? 7-0. All right, this meeting is over. Everyone.
Chair and
Yes.
Commissioners,